Okay friends, one of the first things we have to do to get started on this job is to safely raise and support the front of the truck so the wheel's off the ground. After that, remove all of your lug nuts and the wheel. Pinch off your flex hose to restrict brake fluid flow down to your caliper. Next thing you would want to do is remove the bracket that should be right here. It looks a lot like this, but this one's rotted and missing. Anyways, there's a bolt and a nut, just go ahead and take it off. Follow the flex hose to where it connects onto the caliper. We're going to go ahead and remove this. Make sure you have a nice collection bucket underneath this area to collect any fluid that might come out. Before I move along to removing the upper bracket and of course line up there, the next thing that I'm going to do is take my brand new flex hose. I'm going to put the bracket on here and then we'll connect the banjo bolt to the caliper. After that, once we start taking everything apart, we don't have to worry about fluid coming out while we're working down below. Make sure that's nice and tight. The next thing we want to do is put our banjo bolt into the flex hose. Looking at the flex hose, you can tell that it has a little carve out right along this area here. That's the side that the banjo bolt's going to go through from. So I'm just going to take that banjo bolt with one of my crush washers on there, slide it right through. Take my other crush washer, slide it on there, and then we'll put this up and onto the truck. Once it's bottomed out, just go ahead and give it a couple little cranks here. We just want to make sure that we crush down those washers just a little bit. That's perfect. Flex hose up to where it connects onto your steel line. We're going to go ahead and break this line free, then we'll just go ahead and snug it. After that, let's remove this bolt right here. All right, just going to close that off so it doesn't leak on me. Now at this point I want to have the brand new flex hose ready because once I take this line off of here, fluid's going to be coming out and I want to try to make sure that I don't get it all over the place. There it is, friends. Use some copper never sees on the frame, and of course make sure we clean up the threads on this the best we can. Now I'm just going to go ahead and line this up. Just going to carefully start this in, being very careful not to cross thread it. Once it's started, we're going to continue on to getting this bracket in here. Just going to slide this little piton into the hole in the frame, and then bend this over, and then we'll line up our bolt on the other side. Let's get that bolt in there. Nice and tight. Now we'll finish snugging that. Just want to make sure this is nice and snug. I definitely don't want it to leak. Perfect. Now that we have everything back together, the last thing that we're going to do is make sure that we bleed the brakes. I'm just going to go ahead and open this up to relieve pressure. I'll leave the cover kind of hanging over it so no debris can make its way inside. Now let's get down to that bleeder screw. Now with the master cylinder slightly open like we have it, we're going to continue on to our bleeder screw right here. Let's go ahead and open this up and then we're going to wait for a steady trickle of fluid to come out. All right, now that we have a steady trickle of fluid, let's go ahead and close this off and we can continue with our manual bleed. Go ahead and pump up the brakes, please. Clear the pump. Okay, I saw no air coming out on that one. We'll go ahead and close this off, and then we can move along. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and put my bleeder screw cover on here, and then clean it down with some nice fresh water. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and put our wheels up on here, and then once we get them on, we'll snug up all of our lug nuts and then torque them to 100 foot-pounds. Torqued. let's just double check our master cylinder. We want to make sure we top it off to the maximum line in both of the holes. Right there. Perfect. Make sure you close it off so it's nice and tight and sealed completely.